Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We are hearing about Raghunath Dasa Goswami, the standard of those bhaktas. We are hearing about them. And Srila Prabhupada, our Acharya, he knows about Raghunath Das Goswami and he knows about us also. And Acharya's purports are also there. Yeah. So initially when we hear something like this from the Shastra and about these Sharanagata Bhaktas, surrendered souls, then we tend to understand whatever we can understand within our experience, within our capacity. That is good. At least we get to hear and we move in the direction of Bhagavan. So then when we hear and understand, and then we try to do things. Try. The first thing, that's why in Bhagavad-gītā, in the first 6 chapters, regulate. One cannot give up sense gratification all of a sudden, all these conditioned souls. So regulate it. Okay, you eat what you want, but eat timely, eat limited. Do what you want, do it limited. It starts like that. Regulate it. That is only a starting. Regulative principles, only a starting. Starting, turning towards Bhagavan, like the 4 regulative principles, is just a start. So we are not totally drowning in the passion and ignorance, but at least try to come out. By regulating, we are increasing our chances that we come out of that passion and ignorance. Just regulation, only a start. We can't get stuck there, only regulation. Regulation is only a start. But we should at least move towards, after regulation, when we get initiated, 4 regulative principles means start. Regulation is a start. It is a basic, like that. Regulate do's and don'ts. And then it should lead to vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam dharupasta vegam etan vegam shayetati. The vega should come down. Regulation is happening, but still the vega is there in the beginning, the gush. The gush from the tongue in the form of want to talk, want to say something, want to taste something. The gush in the mind, want to go somewhere else other than the lotus feet of the Lord. The gush, vega, that has to come down. At least that's the second thing. After we take the Diksha, the regulation will happen with the mercy of the Bhakti. It's the process of Bhakti. But the gush, that has to come down. That has to come down. And so try to stop the gush. Practice. Yes, somebody can do that. Practice. How much practice can you do to be free of gush? When a conditioned soul is made of gush, how much practice can you do? Prayerful practice, not just practice, prayerful practice. Prayerful practice of not exactly stopping the gush. Prayerfully holding on to the Lord. When there is a gush, then prayerfully holding on to the Nama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There's no difference between Nama and the lotus feet of the Lord. Unless we prayerfully hold on to the Lord Himself, whose energy is this gush, the passion. The passion cannot be controlled. So practicing to just control the gush is only a band-aid effect, and it doesn't take too long to be disheartened and discouraged. But prayerfully practicing it involves prayerfully holding on to the Lord, who will control the gush. He controls, He withdraws the gush, the passion. When we prayerfully hold on to it, easiest form of holding on to the Lord, even when the mind goes here and there, start saying Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. The mind may be saying whatever it has to say. Mind may go wherever it has to go. We cannot come to Samadhi and Smarana immediately when we are in this ocean of modes. That's why the Nama is there. Nama comes as a rescue to give us Smarana. So even when the mind is going here and there, saying whatever it has to say, we voluntarily start Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Nama will control the gush and give us the Smarana. That's how the gush is controlled, slowed down, and we become free of gush, free of passion, free of modes. Like that. So that is for us to prayerfully take shelter of the Lord in the Nama, the lotus feet of the Lord, and all the other gushes. Vacha Vegam, Manasa Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Udara Vegam, Upasta Vegam, Vegam, all the Vegams. They are very mercifully slowed down and removed completely out of our system as Nama sits within us. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Like that. That's for the sadhakas. For those who has taken complete shelter of the holy name, complete shelter of the giver of the holy name and the holy name, they don't have to put any effort to control the gush. By taking complete shelter of the holy name means taking complete shelter of the holy name means they eat and drink and sustain on the Nama and the Katha of Bhagavan. So they sustain on Bhagavad Nama and Bhagavad Katha. We, the conditioned souls, who has Vegam, the gush, they sustain on the Anna and on the modes. Yeah, for us to live, we are really sustaining on the external things, external feeding, and these modes, the external energy. So when a soul is sustaining on these external things, the external modes and the external food, when the soul is kind of stuck there and is wanting that, so then that is conditioned to the modes, conditioned to the Anna. So then the life is just is run with the fuel of Anna, and Anna is the food and the fuel of modes. That's where the fuel is. That's what the fuel is for the conditioned souls. But for the fuel for the Sharanagata Bhaktas, liberated souls, liberated from the modes because they are sheltered in the internal energy. So those pure souls that are liberated from the modes, those pure souls who are full of Kṛṣṇa, they are pure because they are full of Kṛṣṇa. Pavanam Pavane Priyapi. So their sustenance, their fuel is Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the Nama is Dhamma. So the Nama with Rupa, Guna, Leela of Bhagavan, that is where their sustenance is. So that's why naturally 24/7 Aharnisha, they are in Kirtaniya Sadahari, sustaining only on Bhagavad Nama and Katha. Actually, traditionally, the system is, this is how the Guru is always engaged in the Seva, in the Nama and Katha of Bhagavan, that he doesn't even think of what his body needs. He doesn't think, he doesn't want to think. They don't keep track if it is morning or night, or if they have to send the food in the body, or if they have to clean this body now, like that. They don't think or keep track of anything related to the body. This is why traditionally there is a sevak to Guru who reminds and arranges everything for the bodily needs so the body can sustain. So they have to remind Shri Guru that it is time for this body to do this and to send the prasads like that. That is how absorbed they are inside. In the Nama and Katha of Bhagavan, they are with Kṛṣṇa. So they don't really like to think anything about the body, what to speak of, what I want to eat now. I like that. They are naturally like that. They are like that. When they are from this body concept, they're naturally like that. So their sustenance is just a Nama and Katha. But because the body have to, their internal sustenance is on Nama and Katha, because the body has to be maintained, it has to sustain for the seva, and then they have to accept some Anna Prasad to sustain that body, like that. So that is the principle for those who are sustaining only on Bhagavad Nama and Kada. They are called sannyasis. They are called renunciants because they have renounced this body concept of life. So they have renounced even the thought of this body and maintenance of the body. That's renunciation. In Gaudiya Sampradaya, renunciation sannyas is to become prem vikari. Means sannyasa begs. They don't think of food. They don't spend time to cook food, nothing. But for the body to maintain the body, to put the body and soul together for seva, whatever comes with the begging. And the begging is also to purify the grihasthas. So the service that is offered to sannyasa is for the purification of the grihastha, like that. So that's how they just accept the alms. And then with whatever is available, they put the body and soul together, like that. That is that they put the body and soul together, but that is not the prime thing. Sannyasa means, especially in our sampradaya, prem vikar. Their occupation, their occupation, their bhajan is all about begging for prema. That's their internal bhajan. The constant nama, dhamma is all about begging for prema. That's because they're busy doing that inside, they don't really have time for anything outside, including these bodily needs. So that's why they're completely renounced. So that is their position, because they're so absorbed in their, Sakira Nugatya Seva inside, begging for the prema inside, because they're so absorbed inside, they really hardly have any thought left to think of this body. There is no space in the mind to think anything of this body. It is all filled with the eternal Nam Seva Katha, like that. So that is their natural position. They are renunciants. So, yeah, we heard about the sadhaka's position, and we heard about the Sharanagata Bhaktas, Atma Samarpana Bhaktas, the Premi Bhaktas, their natural position. So now we can see where we are and what can be done. We can say the trying can go on for some time, but the important thing is prayerfully holding on to the lotus feet of the Lord in the Nama. That is our rescue. And so much so that our occupation is simply to prayerfully hold on to the Lord. When it is heading that way, then we can also internally become renunciants. Though we have the duties to do outside, they will go on. The thing is, they will go on. We tend to flip the ratio. We tend to try to put everything in place outside, and then maybe, if possible, when there is a time, do a little bit of bhakti. We flip the ratio. That's where the misery is. That's where the greatest failure is. That's a good formula for failure, even to do our responsibilities in this world. We don't flip the ratio. We keep the ratio intact. Bhajan comes first, Kṛṣṇa comes first. Our thought about Kṛṣṇa, that comes first. So when the bhajan is given that priority, then our responsibilities in life, they fall in place very nicely. That's when the success in the material responsibilities also come. Our condition, when we are influenced by the modes, we don't even know what is the real success in managing these responsibilities of the world. We don't even know. We tend to have our own ideas and try to chase them and hold on to them. I like that. But when we prioritize bhakti, then we will get to understand, oh, so these are the material relationship and responsibilities based on the relationship. We will get a clear vision and understanding, a perspective and a strength and intelligence to handle them properly when our bhajan is our priority, like that. So, yeah, that is what the katha. And the other thing in the katha today, how Raghunath Das Goswami, he hardly spoke to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everything was through Swarupa Damodara. That's why he's Swarupera Raghu. That is the system. That is the system. See, when Raghunath Das Goswami came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately said, okay, now you will be in the care of Swarupa. You will be Swarupera Raghu. And Raghunath Das Goswami, this system, when we follow the system, this system is put in place, when it followed with an understanding and faith, it gives us the qualities. It invokes the qualities, the divine qualities within. It gives the qualities of the Vaishnava. So, Raghunath Das Goswami, he never, he did not think, okay, I got to get this checked from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I need an answer from him. I got to keep in touch with him. That is not the thinking of the Sharanagata Bhaktas. They don't think like that. Sharanagati means dainya is there. Dainya means humility is there. Humility means we realize, I should realize what my place is. That will, we will see. In humility, we will realize what our place is. Then naturally, the humility doesn't have any gush. Humility is free of gush. Free of gush. Humility is seeing the reality that we are the servant of the servant, being in that reality. So there is no gush there. So naturally, they don't even have an inclination to do anything. To bypass something is a gush. So they don't, for somebody who is in humility, they don't have that tendency. They see where their shelter is and they just stay in the shelter. For Swarupa Raghu, for that Raghu Swarupa is the shelter. That's why, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he wants to know about Raghunath Das Goswami, what he's doing, how he's doing, he doesn't go to Raghunath Das Goswami and ask, he asks Swarup Damodara. And how is Raghu? And then Swarup Damodara relates. It's just the system. Parampara system. Yeah. So, like that, it's just natural for a soul that in whom there is a natural awakening for Bhagavan with yearning. These things, they naturally happen. That is when we know, oh, so this is the yearning for Bhagavan. When a soul is truly yearning for Bhagavan, it becomes free of gush. It becomes free of gush. Then naturally there is no bypass. There is no wanting to control. Nothing. Just free of gush. So there's a beauty. That is how we know that there is not natural yearning for Bhagavan. So it's just natural. When the soul is yearning like that, the soul becomes free of gush. There is no controllership. There is no bypass. They will know where their shelter is and they just stay there tight. That's all. Securely, very securely. Like that. That's all. So that's what we have heard today. So first one was, the sustenance of a sannyasa is on Nama in the Dhamma. And Dhamma in the Nama, the Rupa Guna Leela of Bhagavan. That's where the sustenance, that is spiritual sustenance. That's why they don't have any thoughts about the body. They think Raghunath Das Goswami, he thought even drinking that little cup of buttermilk once in 2-3 days is sense gratification for them. Even that thought of the body is sense gratification for them. Because they are in spiritual bodies. So anything related to this body is just like that for them. So their sustenance is like that. Spiritual sustenance. That is sannyasa. Begging for love, being in spiritual sustenance. And for the sadhakas, it is starts with regulation, but should lead to should lead to free of gush, which happens with a prayerful anchor to the holy name, to the lotus feet of the Lord. Then he will cut down the gush and remove the gush. And in that way, slowly, as we get attached to the Vani of a Sharanagata Bhakta, then the mellows of Sharanagati, they are invoked within us. Those are invoked within us only with the Vani of the Sharanagata Bhaktas, who has that in heart. The gush may be controlled by holding on to the Nama. If our purpose is only to control the gush, Nama will just do that only. It will just control the gush. But how will the prema in the Nama will come into the heart? That is when we sustain on the Vani of a Premi Bhakta for Bhagavan, then that will come into our heart. That and the other thing that we heard was how when a soul is truly yearning for Bhagavan, it's actually free. The testimony that there is true yearning coming from within our soul is that the gush comes down, the controllership comes down. So the bypassing comes down, everything that comes down, and we truly stay in the shelter very tightly. We will know where the shelter is and we stay there tight. And Bhagavan has to come there. It is like that. Not that we go to Bhagavan. Bhagavan will come where the shelter is. Like that. That's all the duties. That's all, Mataji. And all of you, dear devotees. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. So, dear devotees, anyone has any other questions or need any clarification? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my pranams. Thank you, Mataji, for again, bringing the focus back that we are Sharanagata, Namashraya Bhaktas, and that is what we are aspiring for. And our sustenance is Nama, and in a prayerful mood, we are always taking shelter of Nama for Prema, begging for Prema. And the rest of the things will happen, as they have to, the gush and all that gets stopped. It was just nice to hear, Mataji, what sustains these pure devotees like that. That they're not dependent on Anna or the modes. That, they're so dependent like that on the Nama. That is their sustenance. The rest, material energy, Kṛṣṇa will take care of all those things.
Yes.
That was very, very nice to hear, Mataji. Just hearing that itself felt so like, wow. Like,
yeah.
Yes, Mataji. So I'm assuming that from us, wanting to get to that stage is just prayerfully continuing and hearing, right? That is.
Yes, this is our sustenance. What is happening now that we are hearing now? This is our sustenance. As we sustain on this Vani that is coming for us, this will take us. This will take us to what was said, prayerfully anchoring to the Nama, hearing from the Sharanagata Bhakta. This is my sustenance, Mataji.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for doing that portion and just bringing that focus back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like, I remember there was one verse you had done somewhere, when before you started the Bhagavad-gītā, when we were doing the early morning Bhagavatam verses. There was one verse, I don't remember the verse, but the context was Vidura is talking to Maitreya.
Mm.
And the verse goes something like, where like just hearing the glories of Krishna, uh, insurmountable miseries or something like that,
Yeah.
will just go away like that. Um, Yes, Mataji. So just, and that, you don't have to go, and in that you will talk about, oh, so for each of my misery, I don't have to go looking for one formula, this for this for this for this. Just hearing alone like that, everything will be taken care of.
Correct.
Thing like that. Today I was feeling when you said, yeah, just that Namashreya will take care of everything.
Yeah.
And listening like this to the glories of the devotees and Bhagwan, that takes care of everything. We
Material and
forget it.
spiritual,
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
exactly everything. So thank you, Mataji, for
Thank you. Yeah. Shall we go for the shloka, Mataji? Since it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. So I just want to say in one word, Mataji. So this Chaitanya Charitamrita is giving us a lot of bliss, Mataji. Thank you so much.
I couldn't hear what you said, but yeah, please go ahead. Shloka. Voice was low.
Oh, I just said Chaitanya Charitamrita is giving us a lot of
Oh,
bliss,
yes,
Mataji.
yes. Yes, yes.